Alright everyone, here we are with another video with Invest for Tomorrow, and we're going to talk about ticker symbol HYLN, Hyliion Holdings Corp. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all the first time viewers and investors, and to all the subscribers, welcome back. So Hyliion Holdings Corp is showing a rating here on TradingView of a strong sell. They use a lot of different indicators based off of what technicals they use and so forth, and they show here for the 1 day strong sell, and that's something you need to pay close attention to. For the 1 week, it's showing sell and then strong sell based off of moving averages, the summary, and so forth. 1 month, it's showing it's a buy on this end, but just 1 and 4 are neutral. So that right there is showing that possibly there will be a reversal. It could happen towards the end of this month. It could happen towards the beginning of next month, or so forth. But they're basing it off within a 1 month time frame. So the 1 day and the 1 week is showing strong sell. When the ratings on TradingView are strong sell, that's a lot stronger than just sell, because sell is a little bit closer to neutral, but strong sell is definitely saying sell times 2. So we need to watch this closely. And I talked about the MACD and our closer moving average, and if it was broken through, it could work its way up. It certainly broke through it. You could see that here on the chart. Let's go ahead and see that real quick. It broke through it here. We were down here when we talked about it. It broke through it here as the hours went by, and then as the day started for the next trading day, it would continue that momentum. So it worked through it. It kind of hanged out there, and it was sitting slightly above it, and then it started the day and it bounced up a few more cents as well. But it got rejected at 17.55. So I want every single investor to keep in mind that resistance level, probably one of the most important ones in the short term on the way back up at the $17 range, 17.55. So it got rejected. It fell below that moving average that's much closer, right? And here we are at 1641 and moving a lot further from it. So that means that this could continue to get pushed down, but we need to watch it closely. Now the next thing that the MACD was showing was it was looking like a slight recovery here, like we saw here, and we wanted to watch how close it would get back to the happy medium of the middle, right? And if that middle part got broken through, the bulls are starting to gain leverage, and probably the darker bars can continue to work their way up, and we would see something like this break up. And once it breaks up, you could see here on the chart, it starts to work its way up a few dollars. It certainly didn't do that. It got real close to it, closer than the previous time that we were looking at and comparing it to on the 27th. And I was saying that this stock does have room to fall about $2 to $4 more from the 17-point range. So it could fall closer to $15 to $13. For now, based off of the support levels and so forth that we're looking at the previous history of the chart and where we're at right now. So it fell, but it didn't fall as sharp here as we see after the 27th of November leading into the 30th. This is what we wanted to watch for. But could it be in this length of distance? It could probably be, but in a much slower rate. So we need to watch now, since the MACD is showing the other direction, how much further this is going to go before it starts to bring itself back up. Because the reversal is the point where it's going to bring itself back up and break through the middle point and then start to reach newer highs. And that's where you can see these points where the stock actually starts rising a few dollars. But that happened 3 times in the last month. We need to see when it's going to happen next, right? But right now, the most important thing that I want every single investor to be aware of is watching these support levels that we're about to talk about. And then apart from the MACD direction, the fact that there's red bars. I mean, this started to show signs that it was going back down. If you were looking at the MACD, as soon as it started in the middle of the day, that light green bars were starting to come. Once they start, the first one signifies that maybe a next one's coming, another one's coming, and the littlest one is coming before this starts ending up in the bottom red, right? So we need to watch for this. We need to see what's going on. We need to see where it's going and how quickly is it moving down to these levels. So let's look at our new support And let's look at our new resistance. I mean, this resistance was nearly almost disappearing into a red bar as we could see it. So we're going to look at our 50-day moving average, and we are going to look at some different indicators from the previous history on the chart. So now we do need to look at some of these numbers that I stated. We'll talk about if it gets closer to them. So we've already broken through the $17 mark. The next one is down here at this point. I want to get it to the T. This is way back when IPO and everything. So let's get this here to the T, and there it is. It's closer to that point. So right there, closer to $16 and some change. Now, since we're already in the $16 mark and you could see the red dotted line, the next support level would be here at this point at $15.68. I want every single investor to write that down. $15.68, that's your next support. And if we start seeing this move pretty quickly downwards, as a lot of people are anticipating and stating, which we're watching for a reversal on the MACDs and the different indicators, the next point would be 1286. 1286 would be the next point of reference after that. So you want to keep these point of references in mind. You want to pay very close attention to them, how it's reacting, how quickly is it moving down to these lows, and what is causing the stock to go in that direction. I mean, there's so many different variables, but right now, the biggest thing is uncertainty. And I wouldn't call it profit taking, because a lot of people are probably, calling it a day with this one and saying, you know what, I want to go, put my money somewhere elsewhere. There's a lot of uncertainty. Some people are saying that Hyliion is basically like a warehouse, that it doesn't have enough equipment, doesn't have enough manpower, and we get it. And then they're also talking about how they're going to have a manufacturing plant and so forth. But Hyliion has a specialty that is pretty interesting. I don't know how powerful it is in market share and gaining parts of the market, which I would love to see your guys' opinion on this. But it basically turns other trucks that exist out there into hybrids. Like, they have a system that they don't even have to build the whole truck. They just kind of have a part or a piece that's going to make the trucks, go ahead and be much more, eco-friendly and EV powered or hybrid per se, a little bit of both. I don't know exactly how it works. I mean, I've done a tad bit of research on Hyliion, but I'm still not understanding that. So anybody that wants to go ahead and agree with me or disagree with me or actually correct me or help me out on that, to let other investors know how their technique of their innovation works. I do know that they can basically, turn a regular engine into a hybrid engine or into an EV engine or something like that, and they have different things. So it's not like Hyliion really needs to build a whole truck, because a lot of people are concerned about that. I think that is one of their goals. They're going to make their own trucks, but they're also in the market to start shifting, right, without putting that full initial investment of building a whole truck and actually grabbing trucks that are already out there and kind of adding on, Hyliion's technology, which is pretty interesting and powerful in my opinion. But we need to see how powerful it is in the market, right? And right now, that uncertainty is really, really driving people, in this direction. I think that's one of the biggest things. But there's going to be two types of investors. And one investor is going to say, you know what, this is not for me. I want to put my money somewhere elsewhere, and either, cut their small losses or, take their small profit and leave. Or some people are, holding, and they are deciding to hold in hopes of a reversal, which it could be possible, but just how much more of a reversal, how high the reversal can be, that's the kind of uncertain part. And we need to see, because Hyliion needs to deliver some type of, product and show some type of sales. That's another thing that's holding them down. Like, what's the revenue like? That's what a lot of investors are asking themselves as well. But like I said, there's going to be two people: the people that are just not going to see value in this, And then some people are going to say this is a discount. This is an opportunity, right, to get this back to IPO when it was SHLL, toward its acquisition. And there's an opportunity here because they believe in the company. So there's going to be the ones that don't see value, and some people are seeing so much value that this is their opportunity to get on in. So you have to watch this closely. If you haven't really taken a position on this, I really recommend doing a lot of research before just jumping in because of price, and making sure that this is something you believe in and something that you want to participate in, because that's one of the biggest things to be aware of when you choose a stock. You certainly want to believe in it. You don't want to get into a stock because somebody talked about it, or somebody says it, or the hype, or the speculation. You never want to do that. You want to do your own due diligence, and you want to see other people's perspective and point of view. You want to absorb that. I can agree with that. I do that myself. But you don't want to make a decision based off of, solely one source. And that's the same thing here with the channel. You never want to do a decision based off of one source. But everything that I show here, I try to do it in everyone's best interest so that we can watch this closely and maximize profits and minimize losses, man. That's the goal here. So for all investors that are viewing up to this point, we're going to jump into the analysis. So the 50-day moving average is 1722. We're slightly below that. And if this breaks to that point, obviously this is back in bullish territory and there could be a breakout. But before getting there, this definitely has to break through resistance. As we saw in the MACD and as we saw in the closer moving average, it's below it. And then the MACD's heading downwards and it had red bars. So there is a large potential outcome that this could be closer to breaking through support. But we need to see how far is it going to break through support, because this could actually raise back up, break through resistance, and then fall down and kind of hang out sideways for some time, just because everything is saying strong sell. And if you look everywhere in different indications, there's that possibility of this probably going to newer lows. I've seen a lot of different articles. I get it. But you want to watch this real close to what the chart is really saying and doing, because one of the most important things right now that I'm waiting for and I'm looking for as we talk about this stock is the MACD reversal. So it looked like there was a reversal here, right? But the reason why this slight slope upwards was something to be hesitant about is because there's a slope upwards. And as I move this tracer, look up top at the chart. There's a slope upwards. Well, this was downwards. There's a slope upwards, and it started before it started to go up. And it went up and it hit that point, and you could see from right here the slope was already starting to form upwards. It leveled off and it was going downwards instead of actually moving down with it. It started to level off and bring itself back up as we're going to the new lows, and from the newest lows you can already see it going up. And once it hit that peak, that was the highest point before it started to fall where we're at now. So super important to keep in mind that there is an opportunity here for this to reverse, but we need to watch it very closely, because this could be on its way down, and before it starts to bring itself back up, it could be hitting lows, right? And you'll see it, you'll notice it, and that's going to be one of the most interesting things to be anticipating and watching for, because there might be an opportunity here, but we need to see, because just because there's an opportunity and it seems like there's a reversal, just a slight reversal doesn't mean it's going to hold itself up, which if we look at the chart here, that's exactly what it did here. After that big drop, it did a slight reversal and it didn't hold itself up. So we need to be very careful with this one. Watch it very closely, but I look forward to seeing every single investor's perspective on this one. So 1722, 50-day moving average. Our support, probably one of the most important points to watch right now if this continues to hit newer lows, is 1636. If that gets broken through, this could be on its way down to newer support levels and getting deeper into bearish territory, pulling away from the 50-day moving average. So we want to watch that closely. Now, on the other hand, we have our resistance. This resistance is 1686. If 1686 gets broken through and turn into a support, I want to emphasize, it does not signify that the bulls are guaranteed to break through the 50-day moving average. It does not signify that the bulls have gained control, and it does not signify that the bulls are back into bullish territory just because they broke through this. 1686 is an indicator for us investors to know where this is heading in an upward direction, and if the bulls can turn that into a support, they're working their way closer to the 50-day moving average to end up back in bullish territory. So I want every single investor to be aware of that. But this resistance does need to be broken through by the bulls to get closer to bullish territory to then hit newer highs and new resistance levels, and that's 1686. As always, if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community, and don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watch this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.